What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome into the Thomas Mott Show. And boy, do we have an exciting thing to go ahead and discuss, and that is Howie Roseman's recent comments on 94.1 WIP just a couple of hours ago, where he talked about the team and the Lions and the new trade for CJ Gardner-Johnson. But the most important thing we're going to get to here, he ripped Jalen Reagor up and down. Finally, Howie Roseman admitted the fact that the Jalen Reagor pick was one of the worst picks in Eagles history. We got that for you guys here coming up in just one second. Also, there's a very interesting Monday morning quarterback article that centers in on Jalen Hurts and how he's actually been able to improve his accuracy and his way to throw, he's throwing the football a lot better than a lot of people are realizing. This is going to be a very fun year for him and a very interesting article. We'll jump in that a little bit later. Let's just jump in though quickly here with the article from Bleeding Green Nation. We'll throw it up on your screen right now. You see the title, Howie Roseman talks Eagles players that is being most slept on and Jalen Reagor regret. And so here we go. And now he gets into, talking about CJ Gardner-Johnson and how excited he is. And then it goes into the discussion here about Jalen Reagor and picking him not just over Justin Jefferson, but one pick before Justin Jefferson, and then eventually trading him to Justin Jefferson's team, which is absolutely crazy. Listen to this, quote, I think it continually motivates me to get better, and so whenever we do something like that, I go back and look at the process and how we came to that decision, and listen, it's obvious. I'm not going to sit here and lie. We'd love to have that moment back. Now, I believe that all those moments, all of these lead you to where you're going. Yes, I feel like when we won a world championship, there were some mistakes made in that process, but that leads us to get where we wanted to go. And so you go, okay, it's finally an admission. He finally sits back and goes, you know what? Yeah, obviously we'd like to have that pick back. No doubt, we would love to have that pick back, although he does make a good point. And while you're going to see a lot of people rip Howie Roseman today, and rightfully so, I think he's been ripped enough about Reagor and Arcega-Whiteside, he at least is admitting it. And what has he done since getting rid of Jalen Reagor? Really, since drafting Jalen Reagor, he's completely revamped the wide receiver core. He's gotten A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins, and all those players are way better than Jalen Reagor obviously was. And you can even make the argument Devontae Smith could become as good as Justin Jefferson is. A little bit more here. Go back to what Roseman said. Quote, you go back to that moment, we got two tight ends that were really good in the middle of the field. Greg Ward was coming off a really good year in the slot, and so we were looking for a specific role as opposed to just kind of grading the players. And that's on me, 100%. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for all of that. I take responsibility, but I also promise you one thing. If I make a mistake, I'm going to do everything in my power to make it up, which he did by getting A.J. Brown in a trade and obviously going ahead and drafting Devontae Smith. Some really interesting stuff here, which I think we got to at least, hit on a little bit more after the initial quote. What he basically says is that they were trying to find a specific player to fill a specific role. And a lot of teams do this in the draft. They try to just go, okay, grades be darned. We don't really care about if you have an A grade, a B grade, a C grade. How do you grade out for the exact need we have on your football team? And that does work sometimes, but more often than not, teams do get in trouble, just like Philadelphia did with Jalen Reagor, by not taking the best player available. And he's basically admitting here that they had a much higher grade on Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was way better, but they thought Reagor would fit the mold more, and perhaps a lesson there you go, okay. In the future, we take the best player available at the position of need versus the specific little player we think would fit in this one little hole that we want to go ahead and notch him into, right? Don't overthink the draft. That's a very valuable lesson that not a lot of GMs get to redo because they get fired so quickly when they make decisions that happen just like this. So in the end, we do have to give Howie Roseman credit. And again, this goes back to something I talked about on the Thomas Mott Show a couple of days ago. Everyone likes to rip Howie Roseman whenever the Eagles are down, but they don't like to really praise him whenever the Eagles are up. And this is a big-time moment to circle back and go, okay, he made a mistake. He was 100% wrong on taking Jalen Reagor. We all knew it, and if we know it as casual fans, then he 100% should know it. However, how did you right that wrong? How did you flip from the mistakes of Jalen Reagor in that terrible wide receiver room for the last couple of years to one of the most elite wide receiver rooms in the National Football League with an elite talent in A.J. Brown, elite young talent Devontae Smith, and obviously Quez Watkins, and now Zach Pascal, who looks like he's going to be an absolute steal for what they got him for, bringing him over from the Indianapolis Colts. So we like when people acknowledge that they are wrong. You like it in your personal life. Hey, I messed up. Here's where I did it. Finally, he was able to do so, and it's good to see Howie Roseman go ahead and do that, and so credit to him where credit is due. Just finally admitting that Reagor was the wrong move. You guys are excited for what Howie Roseman has done with this football team. Drop a like, subscribe down below. We got plenty more great content coming up next couple of days and weeks as we march towards Week 1 and the Detroit Lions, who, a lot of people are picking the Lions to at least cover. It's like 4.5 right now is what Philadelphia is favored by. I think this is going to be a dominant win by Philadelphia. I'm not going to sit back and say, the Lions don't have some good players, because they do, and we'll talk about that in a preview video coming up either tomorrow or the next day, but Philadelphia should easily win that game. Quickly, over here to the Monday Morning Quarterback article, it's kind of interesting. So what you got to do is go all the way up and realize this is a very, very long article about Joe Burrow, right? And so it's okay, well, where's the Jalen Hurts thing? Well, it's kind of snuck in there. You almost got to search for Jalen Hurts. You got to go all the way down where you see Jalen Hurts, and they get into this very interesting kind of deep dive into where he's at going into the 2022 season. Now, Bleeding Green Nation makes it way, way easier whenever you just pull it up and they have it all linked there. Shout out to Bleeding Green Nation for always having the easy content. You don't have to read through the whole Joe Burrow article. And here's what they said. Quote, over time, Avery, that's your quarterback coach, by the way, said Hurts has gotten more mobility and fluidity in his motion as a result of working smarter, not necessarily harder, in the weight room. That opened the door for Hurts to enter a new world when it comes to playing the position. Seeing the improvement in how he threw the ball then changed his mindset, which gave him confidence that led to upticks in, again, accuracy, anticipation, and pocket presence. Listen to this, quote, so I agree that those aren't usually things you can improve a ton, Avery continued. I think that it had kind of a cascading effect. His accuracy has improved. He's gotten more consistent in how he throws the ball, so he has more confidence now. He's often to play with a higher level of anticipation. He just feels like he can make the throws, and they may have been throws he couldn't have made before. But his confidence is so high that he's playing with greater anticipation because he's throwing the ball early. I think that's the best factor in all of this. A level of confidence I've never seen him with before in the way he throws the football, end quote. And so the whole gist of this article, and I can sum this up in just a couple of sentences, is how does Jalen Hurts improve when most quarterbacks coming out of college don't necessarily improve accuracy that much over their career? If you're a 69% completion percentage guy in college, it's about where you are in the NFL. If you're at 59, you don't improve much past 60. And Jalen Hurts has always been towards the bottom of 60. How is he actually improving? Well, it looks like not only confidence is having a big factor in this, but the way that he is preparing, not only in the weight room, but in the study room as well. He's understanding the playbook better, and he's playing with way more confidence, and the confidence alone is giving him more accuracy. So when he sees somebody open, it no longer is this second guessing in his head of, is Quez Watkins actually open in the wildcard game against the Tampa Bay Bucks? Like, is he actually there? Ooh, pump fake, and then a bad throw. He goes, no, I know my read here. I know Quez Watkins is going to be wide open based on the defense that is given me, based on the study that I have had, and I can throw a very confident football and get a lot more touchdowns. This is great news. And again, it's funny to see the media start to kind of slowly churn their way into becoming Jalen Hurts fans. We're going to see what happens, obviously, with this season. He could still, not progress, and that'd be a massive, massive red flag. But all of the signs are starting to kind of come here where it's like, hey, listen, he is getting much, much better. He looks much, much better. And listen, having great players around you versus throwing to JJ Whiteside and Jalen Reagor to tie back into our main story of the day, it kind of helps out when you're throwing to A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins, right? Maybe that has just a tiny little impact there, and I think that is an absolutely fantastic thing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and a fantastic thing for, I would just say, all players involved. Final quick little story here. I like this quote from A.J. Brown. Again, Bleeding Green Nation has it all, that they do a great job. This just shows you how big of a deal it was to get Hurts, not only a confidence booster in A.J. Brown, but a real warrior on the outside. Listen to this. Jalen's really solid. Brown told the Inquirer early this week, he's a really good guy. We share the same morals, same interests. At the same time, we stayed in touch and communicated. It kept growing. He was there for me, and I was there for him during some pretty tough times. We look out for each other. With us, it's bigger than football. It's family. That's my brother. He also said, I'm ready to go to war for him. If you didn't get A.J. Brown in your fantasy football leagues, which, maybe it happened. Maybe you were second-guessing and said, maybe Hurts isn't going to be that good. I think you're going to regret it this year, because I think A.J. Brown is due for an absolutely massive season for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2022. There you go. Main story of the day, obviously here on the Thomas Mott Show, and obviously you're probably going to see that on a lot of, blog websites today. Obviously, Bleeding Green Nation had it. The 94.1 WIP interview with Howie Roseman on there was really, really good. If you missed the whole thing, go to their website and check that out. But the fact that he admitted that Reagor was a mistake, it's not a surprise because we know Reagor was a mistake. It's a surprise that an NFL GM would admit to the mistake. And hats off for Howie Roseman for doing that. I think he's won over a lot of the hesitant fans who have been frustrated by his drafting and his, overall GM performance the past couple of years. So really good stuff there. Okay, new show coming out every single day, starting, of course, tomorrow as well. So be sure to subscribe for plenty more Eagles content. We will get you guys a Eagles-Lions preview coming up next couple of days as well. For the Thomas Mott Show, again, out of time. I hope you guys stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day.